When you are telling the present moment that it's not enough, you're telling yourself that you're not enough. Because you are the present moment. You are it, and it is you. You are everything contained within it. Everything manifest within, and you are the container of it. You are the entirety of the present. And so whenever we're perceiving that something is missing, that something is incorrect, that something is inadequate or lacking or not enough in the present moment, we are perceiving that about ourselves. And it feels so bad because it's so untrue. That's why it hurts so much. That's why it hurts. There's this internal electrification that happens. That's why you feel so stuck and anxious and removed. Not because something is actually missing, because nothing is. And we're perceiving that something is missing. Because our self is complete and perfect and not lacking in any way. And so when we are looking out at the moment, which is ourself, and thinking something is missing, we are missing the bigger picture. We're cut off from the truth. We're holding ourselves out of alignment with the truth of what is, which is our being is total and complete. Right now. So what does that mean about desire? Desire is a part of this game. But for me, for my understanding, desire is much more about preference, and it's soft and it's unattached. It doesn't require anything. Preference is that which says, I like chocolate ice cream, but the fact that Rocky Road is on my plate is not a problem, and it's not wrong, and I'm not missing chocolate ice cream in this moment. Might get a little wet. And I'm certainly allowed to have that preference, and I can experience that preference in a way that's not painful to me. I can experience my appreciation of chocolate ice cream in a way that is pure, even when I'm not seeing it in my present experience, even when I'm seeing something that feels like the opposite, even when it would appear to be the absence of chocolate ice cream. I know that that's not so. It's just not the form that's taking place in this moment. And that's not a problem. I am happy to let myself experience Rocky Road, to be Rocky Road, to taste Rocky Road, the whole of the experience that is a part of that expression. And I can recognize, yes, perhaps in having this experience, I enjoy chocolate ice cream more, but I actually know more about how much I enjoy it because of this experience of Rocky Road. And so I'm thoroughly grateful for the rocky road, and actually I like it for what it is. I like it for what it is. I can appreciate that it's not chocolate ice cream. Of course, this is a very simple kind of analogy. It can be harder to apply in more complex life situations, but the truth is, whenever we are finding something wrong with the moment, because again, it's one thing to think this would be nice. It would be nice to sit on a beach. I would like to sit on a beach. I would like to sit on a beach under an umbrella with yellow and white stripes, and I'd like to have a little drink in my hand and listen to the waves. I would like that. And that's pretty far from where I am right now. I could look at the difference. I could make the gap huge in my perception, and I could make a big deal of missing the beach and feeling that the beach, which is my desired experience, is missing from the present moment. And so because of that, the present moment is lacking. It's not enough. It's not what I want it to be. Or I could do both. I could acknowledge that beach is a pleasant experience, and my dream of beach is allowed to exist and come through me, and this moment is perfect as it is. In this moment, it is perfect for me to be receiving the dream of beach. More, I'm just saying beach. I'm thinking of the Barbie movie. Beach is my job. I can be in this moment and realizing nothing is missing here. This moment is enough, exactly as it is. My desire for other experience is perfect, and my experience in this moment is perfect. And they don't have to contradict each other. They can coexist. I can do that with emotions. I can recognize that I enjoy feeling peaceful, and I really like peace. That feels nice. But that doesn't have to interrupt or be held up against. It doesn't have to be a comparison. It's not either or, it's both. In a moment of anxiety, of tension, resistance, discomfort, I don't have to be kept out of peace. I can be open to that experience. I can be recognizing it's adding clarity to my appreciation of peace. Sure, perhaps even making my desire for peace stronger. I would say my appreciation for peace stronger. But I can be appreciating peace while accepting that this other experience of tension is perfectly good as it is, and I'm not missing peace. Peace is not missing from this experience. There is no lack of what it is that I'm looking for. There's no lack of perfection. There's no lack of anything. This moment is not lacking, and nothing within it is lacking. And any time that I'm feeling that discomfort, I'm recognizing, I'm perceiving the present moment is lacking, and I am perceiving myself as lacking. I am perceiving myself as inadequate, as not enough, as incomplete. I have returned myself to a diminished status where I am really what I'm feeling, the tension that I'm feeling as I'm looking around and thinking things are incomplete or not enough. What I'm feeling is that I have pinched myself off from myself. I have pinched myself off from the rest of my energy. And so I feel icky. I feel small. I feel staticky and stuck. I feel resistant. because I'm holding myself in resistance to myself, to the truth. I am holding myself in a position that is not the truth, not the highest truth. I'm enforcing a subjective truth upon my experience, but because it doesn't match the higher truth, they're at odds, and there's this dissonance. And I'm feeling the dissonance. The tension that I'm feeling is the dissonance between the truth of what actually is and the falsehood of what my perspective is. And really, all I ever got to do is recognize that this moment is enough. That everything that is right now is enough. Nothing is missing. Nothing is incomplete. Nothing is incorrect. And in acknowledging that, I'm acknowledging the correctness and completion of myself. And I'm back in alignment. My flow of energy is continuous once more. I haven't split. I merged the split in myself. And I feel, again, the wholeness of my being flowing through. I feel the connection. I feel everything flowing. I feel the perfection of everything that is by my deliberate choice to perceive its perfection. To see that it is perfect right now. And so nothing has gone wrong. And the only thing that's been a result of my perceiving the incompletion of now is pushing me back into realizing. Perceiving the incompletion pushes me into realizing its completion. That's it. That's all that ever does. I can always feel better by healing the split in myself, and all of my bad feeling actually comes from that split, comes from splitting my own energy, comes from perceiving in a way that is not in alignment with the perspective of the rest of myself. When my perspectives are in alignment, I see clearly, right? It's like lining up glasses, lining up lenses. But if I shift this lens that's looking at physical reality, if I shift it and I start perceiving physical reality, which again is myself, in a way that the rest of me is not, in a way that is in opposition to the higher truth, I start not feeling great, because the rest of me is looking at things in a very different way. And now I've angled myself against it, and I feel that sort of divergence. And all that divergence is telling me is that I've got a perspective that the rest of me doesn't have. Not that it's a problem. That's not a part of the information. It's not a problem. Not at all. It is purely, I am in a perspective, I'm holding a perspective that the rest of myself, which sees the all, which sees a lot more clearly, which has a higher viewpoint, and so is able to perceive more clearly and accurately. The rest of myself isn't perceiving this way. That's all that says. That's just information. And then I get to decide if I want to hang out over here in the discomfort, or if I want to adjust my perspective to line back up with myself. And really, at the end of the day, bottom line, pretty much the only way that it has all these other nuances of experience. It can be described all kinds of ways: judgment, opposition, rejection, whatever. What it comes down to is that I am perceiving that the present moment is lacking. Whether I am focused upon something that I feel is within the moment or the entirety of the moment itself, whatever it is, when I am not happy with it, which again is different from preference. When I am focused upon my unhappiness with what is, when I am saying this, something is wrong here, when I am focused on wanting something that I perceive as not present, and so I'm rejecting the present because I'm so focused on this thing that I want that I'm like, it's not here, and I just keep thinking it's not here. I'm focused more on what isn't than what is. If I'm focused more on what isn't, then I'm rejecting right now. I'm not accepting what is. All of my attention is on what isn't, and the fact that I perceive it as not being, when actually it very much is. It very much is. I'm perceiving it. I'm just not perceiving it physically, and so that becomes upsetting. But if I can just reconcile that, if I can recognize what I'm wanting exists, I'm feeling it right now, and I'm in this present moment where I'm feeling things physically, both simultaneously. Nothing is missing from my experience. I'm experiencing the beach right now. I'm experiencing the beach right now. I don't have to physically be at the beach to be experiencing the beach. And so all of my desire for that, let's make it something that's a little more compelling, because clearly my desire for beach is not terribly strong. How about financial freedom? How about that? How about total financial freedom? Zero obligation to work to work for a living, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's a desire. I have that desire. That's a strong desire. I could look around and see that it's missing, or I could recognize that right now in this moment of my experiencing the desire, dreaming of the desire, into feeling into what that feels like, it exists. It's right now. I'm experiencing it right now. In my dreaming, in my going, gosh, it would feel so nice to be totally financially abundant and not obligated, not tied to anyone or anything, and just free with all of this abundance, this income coming to me. I am experiencing that right now. I'm also where I work currently. At the time of filming this video, I am at a job, a 9-to-5 job where I work for other people. Both things are happening simultaneously. My working this job is not preventing me from having the experience of not working this job. And so nothing is missing. Everything that I want is accessible to me right here, right now. There is nothing missing in this moment. I can have that dream. I can be living that dream, fully inviting that within and inviting the rest of this moment. And if you're only doing one and not the other, you're not doing it at all. You've pinched it off. You've choked yourself off. It's the whole stream or not. If I am not open to everything in this moment, I'm not open to any of it. And I can see that truly there is nothing missing. There is nothing missing right now. Everything is here. Literally everything. Not just figuratively, not just, it's all here, literally. Just because some of it is vibrational and it hasn't been translated into physical form doesn't mean it's not here. Just because the physical form of this moment looks one way doesn't mean all this other stuff isn't concurrently existing. The rest of me sees that. The rest of me knows that. The rest of me knows everything is existing simultaneously. Nothing, literally nothing is missing. There is nothing that could be missing from this moment. It is all right here. It's like, I don't even know how to describe this. It's like you're in a simulation. It's like you're playing a game. And you have access to Well, everything. This entire server's worth of information, of scenes and assets and all of this stuff. And it's constantly being updated too, actually. It's being added to all the time, the things that you have to choose from. But you're in a chosen experience and it's rendered out before you. And then you get so focused on that experience being what's rendered right now that you think that it's all that there is. And you're forgetting that you have access to all of these other things. Everything that could possibly be experienced, you have access to simultaneously. And you can, with your internal senses, go there. You can click and start loading another experience and have a sort of internal preview of it while you're here in the presently rendered experience. And so you're here recognizing you have access to all of it, nothing is missing. This moment is complete, again. And you're not freaking out in the current rendering because you know this rendering can change just like that. And it can change to be anything that you want it to be. And really, again, anytime we're not feeling good, it's because we've forgotten something that the rest of ourself knows. And so we've gotten ourselves bound up in a perspective that is at odds with the knowing, the perspective of the rest of ourself. And what I see from my experience and understanding is kind of the baseline of that, however it plays out, is feeling that this moment is missing something. That it's not enough, that it's incomplete, and this is the habit of the mind. This is what the mind, the lens of the mind does, is it perceives the now as incomplete, as inadequate. And it is that perception, because it is not true, that creates this tension within us, that then we feel as anxiety, as dissatisfaction. And all it takes, it's not about changing the external circumstances. Those can change. They can change. There's nothing wrong with that. They're gonna. That change will happen. And also it'll happen a lot more easily, a lot more fluidly, if you first get back into the alignment with yourself and the perspective of, oh, everything is complete. Everything is okay. This is all okay. This is enough. Everything is enough right now, actually. This right now is enough. When I'm saying this is enough, I am saying I am enough. And then again, I feel myself connected to the stream of energy, the flow of life force. I'm connected with all that is. I'm perceiving the completion, the perfection, and now evolution happens. Evolution just takes place. It just flows naturally. Now I don't have to force anything. And I'm detached from it. Again, I'm not so concerned. I don't need it to change because I recognize it's enough as it is. And so no matter what it changes to, no matter how it changes, it continues to be enough. No matter how I change, I continue to be enough. No matter how I change, I continue to be complete. That's all it is. It's just, that's the only split we ever really gotta feel into and correct. And it's not a gotta, it's just if we want to feel good. And it's not a correcting because the other one was incorrect, it's just we stepped out of whack with ourselves and then we don't feel so great. And we want to feel great, so step back into alignment with yourself. That's it. That's it. If you're perceiving that this moment is lacking, you're perceiving yourself as lacking, and that's not true. And that's why it doesn't feel good. So return to the knowledge that this moment is complete as it is, and it is enough as it is. Really feel into that. This is enough. And then you're back. You're back. You're back and you realize you don't need to go anywhere. This is where you want to be, actually. Right here, in alignment with the fullness of yourself, perceiving the fullness of yourself, perceiving the completion of your being, the perfection. It's complete. It's all done. It's all done. There's nothing missing. That's it. Have a beautiful day.